How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our fifth week here of our 2210 course in technical writing and communication. So this week, the first part of our group semester-long project is underway. That is the letter of inquiry. So two things to do this week. Well, first, before we get there, let's recap what you had already sent in by the time you all are seeing this video first thing Monday morning. Your resume. I looked at some of them over the week. Okay, as long as you were concise in representing yourself, use professional diction, that the format was professional, you didn't use a lot of frou-frou coloration and big giant bold lettering, as long as you follow the models that we talked about in the textbook, okay? And I gave you those page numbers and covered all this in a video from about 2 weeks ago, okay? So as long as you did that, you gave 3 resumes for 3 different applications, 3 different jobs, okay? And it might be in the same industry, but as long as you differentiated, let's say, in your summary or your objective, it might have been just subtle variations, okay? Of course, your work history might not change. You might have chosen to highlight certain things first so that when your potential employer looks at your resume, they see that first thing that stands out, okay, that pertains to that job you're applying to, okay? As long as you gave me that document that has 3 resumes for 3 different applications, and then Sunday, I'm recording this Sunday morning, the 14th, 9 o'clock in the morning. By tonight, or by last night when you're viewing this video, you also turned in your cover letter or job application letter. And all that is a companion piece to your resume where you are stating a little bit more about the job you're applying for. You're reaching out to the contact person at the company. For me, applying for teaching jobs, it's usually someone in the HR department or maybe the head of the particular department in the school, the communications department, the humanities department, whatever it is. So you address an actual person, and you know, you could have made a mock name, okay, or used a cover letter of your very own, and 3 cover letters for 3 resumes, okay. And the cover letters are short, concise, usually no more than a paragraph or 2. Okay. And again, there were models that we pointed you to in the textbook. Okay. So if you did those things, you should have done reasonably well on those first 2 assignments. Okay. Totaling to 20% of your overall course grade. Today, or this week, I should say, a homework assignment, your group discussion forum, where you all are talking to each other about your letter of inquiry. Okay, this is you all pretend we are in the classroom, and you all are clustered in groups in the classroom talking to one another, getting down to brass tacks, okay? Go back and look at your the project assignment sheet if you need a refresher on what industry is yours, okay? Your group members are listed there. So if somebody wants to put out an initial post first thing Monday morning, hey, this is so-and-so in the non-durable manufacturing group. Let's get to talking about how we want to draft this letter of inquiry, guys. Okay. But address the members of your group. Okay. I mean, you could talk to other people in the class, but what I'm looking for grading purposes is that you all are having a meaningful, substantive discussion of how are we going to put this letter together? What's going to be on the letter? Okay. So let's do a little example here. Let's say I am in group technology. Okay. Now, technology is a huge kind of umbrella field. It involves many different subcategories. Okay. Now, one of those subcategories could be social media. Okay. And remember, this group project, you all are trying to address an industry problem. You're trying to figure out something about the industry, and you're going to propose a means of changing it to be more efficient, more fair, more, pick your adjective, okay? Some means of improving the industry, okay? So if I were in the class, if I were in group technology, the first thing that pops into my head is social media, okay? So I might look at Twitter or Facebook or Google, okay? We know the names of who owns these companies, okay? The bigwigs at Twitter or Facebook. Of course, if you are drafting a letter of inquiry to Jack Dorsey of Twitter, it's unlikely that he himself is going to get the letter and read it. It's probably somebody in some sub-department, the head of communications initiatives or whoever it may be. And you all can look at this stuff online. You all can look at Twitter's chain of command, let's say, and sort of deduce who's the best representative of what department to address this letter to. Okay, so let's stick with that Twitter example. What's a problem that I find with Twitter? Now, there's all sorts of things you could identify. It could be Twitter's interface. It could be the way that things appear on a Twitter feed, on the screen, let's say, how you as a user interface with that application. So that has to do with kind of the look of Twitter, okay? I'm not terribly interested in that. I'm worried about, or I'd be interested in knowing more about, and how can we solve this problem I've identified. And you're not necessarily identifying the problem in your letter. You're just starting a cordial, professional correspondence with a representative to find something more about what you want to find more about on, okay? So for me, it would be censorship, okay? You guys might have heard about this, but Twitter has a known track record of shadow banning certain users, of withholding certain users' information from being as populated throughout Twitter as other users' information is. So that's an industry, that's something I want to know more about. Okay, so I might address my letter to so-and-so at Twitter. And by the way, on page 371, figure 14.4, follow that model. It's enumerated. There are, on this example, three points here, okay? So I want to know more about what does Twitter, or how does Twitter identify, let's say, dangerous information? What does Twitter consider to be beyond the pale or too taboo to have a place in their forum, which is Twitter? Okay, so you notice how it starts here in the example. I am writing to you because of blank's reputation as a leader in the blankety blank of blankety blank. Okay, so you want to start out kind of in a sort of flattering way, okay? I am writing to so-and-so representative of Twitter today because of Twitter's reputation as the leading communications application in the whole world of social media, okay? And then you want to say, I'm working on an analysis of the type of user that Twitter might deem to be offensive or inappropriate, or, let's say, is it a member of ISIS, okay, or is it a member of some fringe independent media empire, okay? Whoever it is, you want to know more about why does Twitter seem to be, let's say, privileging people with opinion A while sort of suppressing people with opinion B, okay? You don't want to sound accusatory, though, okay? You don't want to say, hey, I notice you seem to be... You're curious in finding out more about a certain phenomenon, okay? So you want to do an analysis on, let's say, how many times Twitter censors or suspends the account of this type of user, okay? So if you remember from 1101, an analysis is something we are looking at because we want to find out more about it, okay? So you're not trying to sound argumentative or controversial, or, you're not sparring with the person to whom you are communicating. Your goal here is to find out more information about why this company does what it does in your estimation, okay? The letter's pretty short. Opening paragraph, your points can be enumerated, as is in the example. Closing remarks, and a final little paragraph there. And then a sign off, sincerely, yours truly. Of course, you can't give your actual signature and your penmanship. This is electronically submitted. And then I would have the names of each group member at the bottom. Now, of course, one person in the group is probably going to draft this thing, okay? But you all are collaborating in the discussion forum about how that is going to be drafted. And in the discussion forum, too, it's a good place to maybe share the document with each other if you guys want to kind of, throughout the week, peer review it. I'm not going to peer review it for you. I'm sitting out on this one. This is something for you all. Now, if you have questions about the assignment in general, email me and I'll let you know. But if it's, hey, look at our document, I'm on the sidelines for this one. You guys, among the members of your group, are going to be doing that, okay? Looking for spelling errors, grammatical errors, making sure the tone is appropriate, making sure the content is appropriate, okay? So that is just a little mock example I've given you there in the technology group for a smartphone application and internet application, Twitter. Okay. So that's what we're doing this week. Discussion forum due Friday the 12th, or the 12th, Friday the 19th, I should say. And then the letter of inquiry 2 days later, the 21st, Sunday. So it's another staggered week where we have an assignment due Friday and then an assignment due Sunday. Okay. So stay apace, stay on top of it, talk to each other throughout the week. You'll be graded on that discussion forum, and then a single letter of inquiry document sent by Sunday night, okay, based on what you guys have talked about all week, all right? Okay, guys, I'm going to be working on the resumes and cover letters, grading them throughout this week. Probably should bang most of them out by this week, if not into next week. So that's what's going on for this week, guys. And if you have any sort of broad brush stroke questions about the assignment, reach out and I'm happy to go over it with you. Okay? All right, everybody. Signing off. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.